Today on Truth Is, we see Jesus meets people right where they're at, right in the middle of their sin. That's coming up. Hey, welcome to Truth Is. Today we continue our story of the woman at the well and Jesus talking with her. We're in the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verse 16 is where we'll start. Verse 16 says, Jesus said to her, "Go call your husband and come here." The woman answered him, "I have no husband." Jesus said to her, "You are right in saying, 'I have no husband,' for you have had 5 husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband. What you have said is true." Now, we don't know if she was divorced 5 times or part of those 5 times, if her husband had died. We don't know, but we also know that she's living with the person she's supposed to be with now, as Jesus tells her all of her past, and we know that is sin. So Jesus is calling out her sin, but he's doing it very gently, but he is doing it, which is very important, because to come to a realization of you needing a Savior, you have to realize you're a sinner. So he's gently meeting her where she's at and then taking her further, but he's doing it gently. She had also gone to draw water in the heat of the day, which is not the normal thing you do. We talked about this the last time in chapter 4, where she went in the middle of the day to draw water, which is, women went in the early morning, the cool of the morning, or the cool of the evening, but she goes in the midst of the day, and it's thought she did this to get away from the crowd, to not have as much scorn on her for people maybe making fun of her or calling her names, or just her shame that she was wearing from her past. But Jesus wants to take that shame away, and that's what he will do. The conviction of sin. This is again the beginning of us coming to the Lord. It's the beginning of us knowing we need a Savior. This is the beginning point of salvation. You have to realize you are a sinner and you need a Savior. But how Jesus goes about calling her out on this, he meets her where she's at. And that's the way he does us. If you've come to the Lord and you have a relationship with him, as I do, you know he met you where you were at. He met me where I was at. So a lot of times we wait to try and clean up our act. Well, let me clean up my act and then I'll come to Jesus. If you wait on that, you'll never clean up your act. You go to Jesus in your dirt and your grime with all your sinfulness, and you lay it before him and say, "Forgive me, now help me overcome this." And that's what Jesus does. He meets us where we're at. It doesn't matter what we've done in our past. That doesn't matter. He can forgive us of all that. It doesn't matter what you've done, what I've done. You can be forgiven for all that and become a new creation, which is what he's going to do with this woman. The important thing, though, about when Jesus meets us where we're at, in the midst of our muck and grime of sinfulness, he doesn't leave us there. He doesn't expect us to stay there. In fact, he commands us to come out of that sin and walk, and what does he say? Follow me. Take up your cross and follow me and deny yourself. That's what he says. But we know that what the grace of God is, that Jesus meets us where we're at. And that is just the love of God. Well, that's all the time we have today on Truth Is. I thank you for joining me. Until next time, blessings.